Hi guys, welcome to, well it was a beer review, but I got rudely interrupted. But then it was a little bit of a brainwave moment, so this is kind of a review, but it could be the start of a little series that I'm going to be doing. Looking at notable core range beers, and I think one of the breweries, which by the way, there's no bias here at all. Um, I mean, yeah, there's no bias at all. And no, I'm actually not wearing that hoodie for once. Um, and I thought, what better place to start than a brewery who, obviously, they started off a very sort of seasonal brewery when they were in bottles. And then I think it always goes back to that double IPA free as part of the double IPA series. I think that was in bottles as well. I can't remember specifically which beer really sort of kick-started Cloudwater's venture into canned beers, and then of course being really notable for their pale ales and IPAs and hazy, juicy beers. But completely forgot what point I was trying to make then. But yeah, I think Cloudwater, especially with what has happened over the past year or so. I'm not going to obviously say the word because it's you can actually get your video deleted just for mentioning the C word. And I do not mean the uh, deflammatory, what's that word? Derogatory word for female genitalia. You can also say, well, you can't say the V word either, which again, I'm not alluding to the derogatory term for female genitalia. Now, I'm trying to make a serious video and I've just said something like that. But yeah, Cloudwater, especially with what we've been through, they seem to have had a bit more, even not saying that they didn't already, because they've established a really solid core range for a while now. But with the fact that obviously people furlough, can we say the F word? I think we can. With people being on furlough and some people, well, quite a lot of people actually, unfortunately, losing their job completely, people who are into this sort of thing, income is very limited. Now, I'm really quite, what's the word? Privileged with the fact that even though I've got quite a low paying job, I've been able to work throughout the whole situation. But a lot of people, unfortunately, have had to sort of limit their spendings when it's come to beers. And we all know that craft beer can be a very expensive hobby at the best of times, when we're a lot more affluent than we were. And hopefully we get back to that level sooner rather than later. So it's really made, I'd say, a lot of breweries sort of rethink things and try and have a good, solid foundation of easily accessible beers that are not only cost effective in comparison to other beers, but also have a real sense of quality. And I think for me, top of that list would be Cloudwater. And I would say they've actually been the brewery who I've been buying most beers from directly. Now, of course, that's not to say they've not been putting out some really good limited releases and seasonal releases and that sort of thing, because they just consistently brought out great beers. And I think a lot of breweries have, in fact, upped their game a lot at a time when a lot of breweries and brewers and, well, we've all seen what's happened to bars and pubs and tap rooms and stuff like that. So I think brewers and breweries have been a lot more careful with the beers that they produce. And I tell you what, considering what we've been going through, the quality of beer that I've drank has just been absolutely amazing, no matter which brewery. Excuse me. shouldn't really burp when you're trying to make a serious video. In fact, I might just do this as sort of like a one-off or a prelude to a potential series. I don't know what this is. I just feel like I want to talk about it, really. So, yeah, I think Cloudwater, and this isn't just an ode to Cloudwater, of course. It just happens to be, I'm drinking Cloudwater's Pale Ale. I was doing a sort of a re-review of it, but I got rudely interrupted. And even though the person who interrupted me knew I was doing a beer review, persisted to talk and take me off my stride. Very apprehensive about putting a full glass of beer there, so I'll have to just drink a little bit off the top. So yeah, I think Cloudwater have really sort of had not a change in direction, because it doesn't really seem like they have changed because of the sheer amount of beers that they're churning out. But I remember very early on, as this was going on, one of Cloudwater's live streams, and Paul was actually talking about the emphasis of having a good core range of beers. And I think I've really been enjoying finding a beer and then thinking, do you know what? I don't just want to buy one, review it, and then never drink it again. Because there are a lot of beers that you can only drink once, because a lot of them will never be rebrewed. And I try to avoid falling into that, trying to get something new every time. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, obviously. Different people have different buying habits, different circumstances. I've probably spent a little bit too much on beer. But at the same time, in a weird way, I've not been spending as much because of the expense of travelling to different parts of the country and going to different places and drinking and that sort of thing. Accommodation, if you're having a bit of a weekend. So I've been really trying to get the most for my money. And of course, you'll buy some cheaper beers and they'll taste a little bit cheaper. Some of them very solid, serviceable. Some breweries don't really feel the need to follow the trends. They just want to brew the beers that they like and the beers that people really enjoy. And I suppose that falls into this sort of thing that I'm very awkwardly trying to talk about, because it's off the cuff. I've not prepared this. It was just a spur of the moment thing. So that's why I think we should really celebrate beers like Pale Ale by Cloudwater. Now, a beer that I will be doing a re-review of, because I think they're constantly developing it, will be Cloudwater's Hellas beer, which, for me, after recently drinking some, I bought a 4-pack, is probably the best lager brewed by a UK craft brewer. I mean, of course, you've got the likes of Lost and Grounded, Don Zoco, to name New Barnes. Although New Barnes do quite a varied amount of beers, really. Utopia, or is it Utopian? You can tell I've not done any preparation for this video. But they're churning out just consistently amazing lagers. But for me, there's something so satisfying about Cloudwater's Hellas beer. And I won't go too much into that, because obviously I want to save that for the actual video. But I don't know. I don't know what this video is. I think it's me trying to praise a good core range of beers. And I'd like to do more to showcase breweries who do have a good core range of beers. And I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions on this. Is it your guys's or your guys' opinion? I don't know. I'm not a wordsmith. And still it's spilt on the floor. So yeah. Who are some of your favourite breweries? I've done a video like this before. But I sort of like doing these, I would say, long-winded videos. I think all of my videos are long-winded anyway. But I'm really enjoying going back and buying multiple beers. Now, I used to be the sort of person who every time they bought beer, they'd buy new beers, one beer at, you know what I mean? But recently I've been like, oh, they only do it in a 4-pack. Sounds good to me. And if I can get hold of those beers again, I'll buy another 4-pack. Of course, I'll still be buying beers that pique my interest. I'll never go for a beer that has got so much hype that I'll get loads of views. I've never chased the views when it comes to beers. Probably did back in the sort of like early stages of the Clueless Drinker channel, but my channel's been stagnant for quite a long time. But that being said, I have reached 600 subs as of recording this, so a massive thank you to all of you wonderful people out there who have subscribed, liked, shared, commented, the people who I've met through this, the people in the industry who I've had a chance to talk to. And in a few months' time, we should hopefully, albeit with some sort of restriction in place, be able to meet up once again and to share these beers. And just like, see, I'm being clever and fitting it into what it says on the back of this can. Aren't I a genius? Our pale ale is a beer for everyday moments, whether it's conversation with friends or quiet relaxation after work, and aims to provide balance between bold flavour and easy drinkability. I think that sums up, well, it could sum up beer in general to a lot of people. Yes, there are empty glasses on the floor where I sit because I'm too lazy to take them downstairs and clean them. Judge me all you want. Again, completely derailed my own train of thought with that. But that's what I like about these sorts of beers. And this is a beer that I will probably go back to quite a few times. And who else can I think of that's got a really good selection of core range beers? Steady Rolling Man. Daya, with beers like Steady Rolling Man. Into the Haze. Not just all like pale beers, by the way. I don't want to just turn this into a juice fest. What the fuck does that mean? You can take that well out of context. But you've got the likes of Daya, Northern Monk, Track to a lesser extent, but they've probably got one of the most satisfying core beers in existence with Sonoma. And then the other pale ale that they bring out quite regularly, which name escapes me. You guys will know what I'm talking about. Don Zoco. Now, it might not just be like a range of beers that are available on a regular basis. Look at Don Zoco with the likes of Northern Hellers, an absolutely fantastic lager. I know some people might roll their eyes or even shake with anger when I say Magic Rock. I mean, come on. What a diverse range of quality core range beers they've got. From, I can't remember what the lager's called, to High Wire Grapefruit. What's it called? It's not called High Wire. I'm making a fucking mess of this video. But that's why people like watching me, I suppose. And then, of course, Common Grounds, which to me is just one of the best porters ever. Yes, we all know where the money is kind of going to. But trust me, getting Common Grounds on mini keg is one of the best drinking experiences you'll ever have. And I'm not going to apologise for having that viewpoint. Half Dome, that's the beer I was thinking of by Track. And then, of course, you've got Cloudwater with the Pale Ale, Double Dry Hop Pale, their IPA, and their Hellas beer. And their sort of lower ABV lager, their light lager. And there's plenty of breweries out there. Excuse me, I keep burping. Who have sort of like a regular rotation of beers, even like sort of like regularly brewed rotational beers could fall into this sort of category. And I think a lot of brewers have realised that a lot of people can't really spend, like £8 on a double IPA, or in the current situation, we've got the triple IPA sort of movement where you're paying sometimes between £7 to £10 and upwards for a triple IPA brewed in the UK. And that's crazy because there are some American beers from the big boys like, Finback, Other Half, Equilibrium, and you're paying almost identical for the triple IPA when it's available. And I think a lot of people are starting to, no matter what their sort of situation, I don't want to make any sort of generalizations during this video, because my buying habits have changed quite a bit, to be honest. And I just love the idea of knowing there's a brewery who I can buy directly from and support directly and get just some very, not only solid, but absolutely fantastic beers. And an example of Cloudwater is the Brewdog and Cloudwater Double IPA, which is available in Tesco's. Now, I know some people have had really dodgy cans of that, but I've been very lucky to have every can I've had be absolutely fantastic. Who else? Vocation. I've got a very, very solid core range of beers. It seems I'm being very north-centric with this video, but I'm northern through and through. I've got Henson's Relish instead of Blood. I do like Henson's Relish. Lancashire sauce is good, especially if you want a little bit more of a curried flavour in your food. And if you ever come across them, the Lancashire Crisp Company, I think they're called, or something like that, they do a Lancashire sauce flavoured crisp, and it's absolutely beautiful. But yeah, I don't know what point I've actually made in this video, but I think it's a bit of a celebration of regularly brewed, easily accessible, quality core range beers. Because, you can't always pay the high ticket price, because you're always taking a risk on a new beer, because you could spend a certain amount of money on a beer that you've heard a lot of people talking about, people within your close sort of within your circles talking about it, and then you drink it and you're like, I know XXX who does this beer that's just as good, if not better, for XXX amount of money. So, yeah, I think my message on this is just every now and then, it's nice to go back to a beer that you've had before and just pick up a 4-pack, pick up a 6-pack. Because a lot of breweries, if you pick up a 6-pack or a multi-pack of one beer, some breweries will actually give you a little bit of a discount off each can or bottle. It's not just exclusive to canned beer. But yeah, that's it really. And in fact, you know what? This is going to be my 600 subscriber ramble, because I didn't really have anything special to hand to review. And plus, I'm doing this on a Monday evening. Probably against my better judgment, since I've already had a couple of beers already today. But yeah, so who are some of your favourite breweries who you not only go back to time and time again, but you find yourself buying the same beer over and over? I'd like to hear your favourite sort of breweries who do these sort of regularly available, affordable beers but there's no compromise on quality when it comes to price. So yeah, just let me know in the comments down below. If you've got a local brewery who does a fantastic core range of beers, let me know. I'd be really interested to try them. I'm really doing my best to sort of go after these sorts of beers. But also at the same time, there are some beers that come along that sound really damn good, and I'm like, do you know what? I want to get myself that. But I've found myself now, if I'm buying directly from a brewery, because I'm quite tight-fisted with my money, I will probably buy enough beer to get to that free delivery threshold. And that, to me, is a perfect way of, if you've got, I need to spend like 6-7 quid, six to 10 quid to get that free delivery. Do you know what? I remember that beer being really good. I'll pick up a 4-pack. I'll pick up 6 of them. So, yeah. Don't know what this video was. And you're probably thinking to yourself, why did I see this video out to the end? But I do genuinely appreciate it. And as I said, this was supposed to be a review of a beer, but it just turned out to be a last-minute mess of a video. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below. Any thoughts, recommendations? What beer have you been buying a lot recently, or throughout the whole last, well, it's about 14 to 15 months now, isn't it? Something like that. I'm not too sure. Maths was never my strongest point. Another brewery you could throw into the mix would be the Colonel Brewery. Siren as well. They have a really good core range of beers. Who else does? In fact, we're not going to get into it because this video could go on for even longer than it has. Anyway, so thank you for watching. Massive thank you to you all for investing your time and energy into watching what is quite frankly one of the worst beer channels on YouTube. But at the same time, I kind of like what I do because, yeah, it's about the beer, but you get some stories in there. You get some oversharing in there. You get some awkward moments in there. You get some really bad attempts at humour. So you get a lot. You get a lot for your money, which is ironic because you've not paid anything to watch this. But what the fuck am I talking about? Anyway, I knew this video was going to go off the wet rails ever since I made those vagina remarks earlier on in the video. I'm going to get cancelled now. But yeah, a toast to Cloudwater for having a fantastic core range, and to those breweries, well, to any brewery putting out any beer. I'm not going to pick favourites just because you've got a good core range. I think any brewery who is still going right now, we should be just supporting them anyway. A lot of breweries have incentives where you can donate money and it goes towards local bars and pubs and eateries who have been affected. And yeah, it's all good. I think this whole situation has brought out the best. And even though a lot of people have suffered in the industry, I think the industry is a lot better for it, to be honest. Breweries are now having better distribution, direct sales. I know there's been a point of contention with Cloudwater over selling to independent retailers and that sort of stuff, but they were challenging times. Sometimes business decisions might not be to everyone's tastes, but yeah, it's just good to see that there are breweries who are still able to somewhat thrive. I know they're taking a hit with any sort of pubs and bars and their own tap rooms, but yeah, hopefully in a few months' time, we'll be able to go to these places again and spend our hard-earned money, and people will be able to get back to work, so they're able to then you know, have some sense of normality. And my heart goes out to anyone who has been affected by the whole situation, especially to those who have been, you know, directed effectively by that C word. Um, I'm very thankful that I've not lost anyone to this virus. Um, Pretty much my direct family and friends are still able to work, but not everyone is, and it's been an absolutely horrid time. And one day we'll be able to all have a drink with each other. And yeah, so closing thoughts. Hope everyone's staying safe. Hope everyone's doing well, not only physically but up here, because it's been a very challenging time for people. And again, a real heartfelt thank you to everyone who has subscribed over the years, and for those who have continued to support, for those who've supported for a little bit but then realised just how much of a shit show this channel is, and to anyone who subscribes in the future, the people who like, comment, share, dislike, troll me, all those spam accounts telling people that at 18 seconds you can get single girls waiting for you. We've all had those comments, and yeah, 26 minutes. I'm sorry. See you guys later. Take care. Stay safe. And yeah, let me know some of your favourite breweries who have a really good core range. Or do you know what? Shout out your local brewery. And yeah, go support even breweries who you'll never be able to get hold of their beers. Follow them on Instagram. If they've got a YouTube channel, subscribe to them. Like them on Facebook. Follow them on Twitter. Put them in your Instagram stories. Twerk to them on TikTok to underage girls. You know, do what you've got to do to get those breweries out there. Because you never know. One of your followers might find their new favourite brewery. And whenever you can, buy direct from the brewers. But of course, there are so many, which we've not even really touched on this, there are so many bottle shops now who are able to do local and national deliveries. So support those sorts of companies, shops, whatever, when you can. And yeah, we're going to get out of this soon. And yeah, I'm sorry I've wasted your time, but thank you for the 600 subscribers. Genuinely appreciated. Take care. Stay safe.